let's jump into it. How the Tennessee Titans saved TNA. I know, doesn't make any sense, but bear with us. Let's set the stage. You're coming off that reeling news regarding in demand and cash flow. If you haven't already, go back and check out the archives. We're doing a great job sort of documenting TNA from the very beginning. But a few weeks in, now that you're settled into Nashville, we got our feet underneath us. Things are normalizing a little bit. But also, too, we didn't sell quite as many as we hoped. Of course, the whole Jay Hassman story is the precursor to this one. But the show ends, and you have to turn around in 1 week and have now your fourth show from Nashville. And there's some big news going on between that third and fourth show in the form of your old pal, Vince Russo. He's officially being hired and brought in to write the shows. Tell us how this came to be from the best of your recollection.
I was curious, just knowing what the title of this episode is and how, what's your notes and where you were taking the direction. And this obviously refreshed my memory that he was brought in to write the show. That, he was going to be a collaborative of the show, maybe the lead writer. Obviously, my father wasn't a lead writer as far as writers goes, maybe booker, not writer. And then, we had.
Whoa, time out. Explain the difference. A lot of people are going to hear that and think those words are interchangeable. Different, or you have a different philosophy. Let's hear it.
Oh, okay. Man, stop down early. So okay. I'm putting the ball. I'm going to put this one on you. This is sidebar number one.
Okay, good. This one's one for me. Got it.
No, a booker, someone who, a matchmaker. I like, cause I've been asked this on radio interviews. Hey, what is a booker? They book the matches, or they're the matchmaker that literally take a card and say, Wrestler A versus Wrestler B, main event all the way down to opening match. A writer is a script writer, truly the flow of a television show. Nowadays writers write word for word of promos and pre-tapes and ins and outs and copy for announcers and complete direction. So over the years, in the 70s, there were bookers that would basically format a TV show. And then in the 80s, it began to change. And then the 90s, it drastically changed. And then the evolution, fast forward all these years later, it truly is almost minute by minute. It's scripted. But we're talking 2001, and I'm under the belief that I'm not opposed to having writers attached to the show, but they are, I like to say, stay in bullet point fashion, not word by word. I think there's a huge difference there, even for laying out matches. Don't lay out move for move or in each match. So did I do it justice for you, Conrad?
Yes, you did. So let's get back to the story. You're saying your dad, you didn't feel like could be a writer. He could be a booker and say, this fella should have a match with that fellow, but maybe not a lead writer in today's WWE version of professional wrestling that you're competing with. Why did you feel like it was necessary to have a Vince Russo?
Going back to the total nonstop action mentality, the NWA is traditional wrestling, heavyweights and tags, and truly a very solid in-ring product. But also knowing that we need to get outside the box, and we can have traditional characters, but also let's have a Mortimer Plumtree, or that's maybe a good example, or maybe a bad example, or the Flying Elvises, if you will. And Vince, through the Attitude Era, love him or hate him, he had a lot of success. But when I think back to those days, especially as they sit here in 2021, in the Attitude Era, there was Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara. That was the two writers. There were two writers of Monday Night Raw. And I just think when you add a team of 10 to 12, it really, per show, it really, I don't want to say waters down, but each individual writer. And over the last couple of years, the one-on-one relationships I got to have with different writers, just such an incredible talent pool. But man, it makes for a confusing vegetable soup at times. But back on point, 2001. Jeremy Borash wore a lot of hats, and I think he's good at character development and writing. Bill Banks, I don't think he was on board yet at this time. But anyway, Vince and Ed Ferrara was our color commentator. So Vince was going to be the sole writer of the 2-hour total nonstop action.
Well, hang on now. You just said Borash could write some stuff and Ed Ferrara was doing commentary, but then you landed on Vince was going to be the sole writer. So you did
good clarification. That was, everybody wore a lot of hats. At the end of the day, it was on my shoulders. No matter how you slice it, dice it, I ultimately had the buck stop with me. So I wanted one guy that was there. I mean, hell, in those early days, Bob Ryder contributed ideas and thoughts and different.
So the idea being, a lot of other guys wore a lot of other hats, but you needed one guy that was completely dedicated to that, and that was going to be Vince Russo.
Correct, and could spend the amount of time that it takes outside of those 2 hours. Lots of phone calls, lots of discussions. And I'll just say that it takes a lot of rolling up your sleeves and really getting down. I'm a big believer, and I carried this through and to this day, of really getting in the mindset of the talent and understanding what they like and don't like and how they can make it better, or maybe better said, how they can make it more their own. We'll give them the guidepost, but ultimately we all got to get in the end zone, but you can get there multiple ways.
Have I told you what I'm helping people with in my real life? Yeah, I'm helping them save money over at savewithconrad.com. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Go get yourself a quick quote. Interest rates have improved, and people are realizing, hey, now's a chance to save some cash. And I'm talking to you, if you're still on the fence about buying a house, we can get you out of that apartment, tell your landlord to kiss your grits, and get you into a brand new house. You can do that with 5% down, with 3.5% down. And yes, there are still no money down options available in 2024. SaveWithConrad.com is your first step. We're going to ask you, hey, where are you now and where would you like to be? And we're going to get you on a path to fit those short-term goals, but really meet the long-term goal that we all want. And that's to appreciate the American dream. The American dream isn't to give 29% of your gross monthly income every month until you die to some banker. No, you want to own that thing for real, your own piece of land for you and your family, your legacy. And we want to help you get one for yourself at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. And maybe you've already got a house, but it'd be nice if you could pay a little less. We're routinely finding a way to help our podcast listeners combine all of their debt, and I mean all of it. Credit cards, personal loans, even car payments. Get it into one low monthly payment. Not only is it a better interest rate, it's also a greater tax deduction, but maybe most importantly, a much cheaper payment. We're routinely helping our podcast listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. But how much can you save? Find out right now at savewithconrad.com.
You guys, the housing market's really good right now too. For you folks out there that are thinking of making a change in your overhead or your living conditions, now's not a bad time to make that move. Nowhere better to do it than savewithconrad.com. He's going to save you money. He's going to be honest. And it's like dealing with a friend, an educated friend. And boy, there's a lot of uneducated and unfriendly people in that world. Conrad Thompson is not one of them.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jim. Check out our reviews online. You're going to see we've got more than 1,000 5-star reviews. Customer service is what it's all about. We want to be your mortgage advisor for life. So there's no application fee. There's no credit report fee. We just want to talk, man. Hey, tell us where you are and tell us where you want to be, and we'll try to help you get a plan to get there. We want to be your advocate, your humble advocate at savewithconrad.com.
Attaboy, Connie. Look at those cheeks, ladies. Look at those cheeks, ladies and gentlemen. My God.
How could you say no to that, right?
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.
SaveWithConrad.com.